morning.
All right. Well, my watch just changed to 5:01, so that is what we'll go with. This is the October 16th meeting of the library board. We will call this meeting to order at 5:01. Oh, Joanne is here as well. So let's let Joanne get seated. And good for you. Thank you for making it. So we are calling. Go ahead. You're fine if you want to. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, wonderful. So we are calling this meeting to order at 5:01. So Nancy, you've got that. Let's go ahead and do a roll call and introductions. We obviously have a special guest with us tonight. And so we'll start that way. If you don't mind, Caitlin, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. Caitlin Weaver, Deputy City Clerk.
All right. Michelle, if you would.
Michelle Koziel, Library Board Member.
All right. My name is Abe Martinez, and I am the current chair of the library board.
Shaylin Charvet Bates, Library Board Member.
Kevin Goslin, Library Board Member.
Joanne Van Leuven, Library Board Member. Nancy Joao, Library Board Member.
Hi, good evening. I'm Eric Howard. I'm the Executive Director of Snow Owl Libraries.
All right.
Antoinette Morales Tanner, Library Manager of Lake Stevens Library.
And then we have with us online, if she's got enough voice here, do you want to try to introduce yourself, Emily, or not? No, okay, all right. Well, there we go. It's Emily Steinbrook, who's with us tonight. She's not feeling great and has lost her voice, so I have promised that she can just vote with a raised hand or anything like that. She doesn't have to second anything or speak in any way, so we're fine. Okay. Well, the first thing we need to do is approve the minutes. And as you see, Nancy gave them to us nice and simple. So I've already read through them myself, but if anyone else has any thoughts on those, additions, corrections, anything like that that we need to do? Get another moment here. Nancy, I want to thank you very much for, yes, well, I know that you got some help and that was great. I'm great.
She said she'll still keep helping me. So.
Yeah, there you go. So
Caitlin. She can make it concise.
Good. All right. Well, having heard no changes to this by unanimous consent, we will accept the meeting minutes as presented. All right. New business. We have something important to pass along to you, and I'm going to pass this on out now. This was not included in your packet earlier. Go ahead and let's pass it along to our guests. Well, is that it? We got enough? Okay.
Sorry, throw that at you.
It is with some sadness that I will speak about this proposal to wind down the Lake Stevens Library Board. I was in a meeting along with Shaylin earlier this week where this was presented to us. This has not been officially approved by the city, but this is really it's up to the city council and the mayor to vote on this and to decide this being the case. This is the proposal which has been set before us. And the reason why I want to go over it first is, well, for a number of different reasons. We do not vote on this. It's simply to let you know that this is kind of what's on the horizon, contingent on the vote from the city council. I won't go over all of this. There's some very good information. I'm just going to hit a couple of the points here. This will be included in the minutes for this meeting. So it is included in the public this full public access to this particular document. It will be included, okay? But I'm just wanting to go with the proposal and go ahead and read it. With the new independent library building nearing completion, it is proposed that the Lake Stevens Library Board be wound down. The new facility will be equipped to handle the community's needs more efficiently, and the roles previously fulfilled by the board will be integrated into the operations. So, rationale being completion of mission, you can see that there, especially in the early days, the library board had many different functions in the getting things started for the library within Lake Stevens. Streamline operations, protecting city and library resources, because the building used to be owned by the city. Well, it still is at this point in time where it's at, but that is going to be changing, obviously. So we don't have that according to the ordinance anymore. So that will not be something that we would have to be concerned with. Anyway, you can see the rest of this stuff. Future partnership on the second page there. I've already been well, in our meeting that we had, I was actually fairly excited to hear about these Lake Stevens Leaders Roundtable meetings, which the library management actually attends at that. And so I think that that's one of the ways that there will be this ongoing partnership, as they say here. The city will continue building a strong partnership with Lake Stevens Library by these particular things, and then encouraging regular library updates to the city council each year. I would hope that there would be more collaboration in events going forward, and also hosting community meetings at the new library facility, which they can actually do, the city can actually do, given the size of the facility and such. Obviously, there are some opportunities for board members. Actually, I've encouraged all of us to be part of the Friends of the Library, and if you're not now, well, that would be something that I would obviously encourage you to do. Other things that are done as volunteer opportunities, could ask Antoinette to speak on to that later on. Or I would also think that this is one of the things that I really feel very strongly about, is that if you really are connected to it, to this board, because of your desire to be connected and help in the community, there are other community groups, volunteer boards. They mentioned some of these: salary commissions, civil service, park board, those kinds of things. And I would very much recommend that if you want to stay connected to within the community, that's the way to do it. That's originally how I had come to do it. I like libraries, obviously. I care about libraries, but it was about the community that I cared about, and I would encourage all of us to consider that. All right. So suggested meetings. This would be the last time that we meet in an October meeting according to this schedule. Instead, we would just have a meeting in April and July, which would be winding things down. Hopefully by July, the new building will have been built and possibly open. We can, again, I'll leave that for our library snow aisle report here in just a bit. We won't fill, there's one vacancy on this board. We will not fill that according to this plan. And let's see, that's kind of it. The other thing that I'm going to make a recommendation that we not abide by in this proposal was that it said the current president of the library board could continue to serve while the group is winding down to provide continuity and leadership. I would like to privilege that and say that the current president chair of the library board would like to actually step down. And I'll get to that here in just a bit in our next new business there, but you'll know that. Okay, so, last is the recommendation. It is recommended that the city council approve the proposal to wind down the Lake Stevens Library Board effective upon the opening of the new library building in summer of 2026. So again, this is not something that we'll vote on, but you need to know. This is because this is the future of our board. So at this point, I don't know that, I mean, there'll probably be some questions. I don't know that I have answers. Maybe Caitlin does, but yes, please go right
No
ahead.
January meeting.
No January meeting, only 2 meetings,
Okay.
and they'll be next year, April
We're skipping
and
January,
July.
which we would.
Yeah, we're skipping the January meeting. So that's what the plan would be. So I do know that.
Who proposed this? I missed that.
Who proposed it?
Well, it's in keeping with other libraries in the system that when they are not in city-owned buildings anymore, when they don't have that partnership anymore, when they're on their own, it's just something that we've known might possibly be coming. I mean, if we've been around a while, we've kind of known that's a possibility. So I think it was just something we started the conversation about. And as we got a little bit further on, we kind of had a little bit more of a conversation about. So there's only one, from what I understand, there's only one other library board such as ours right now in the Snow Isle system. So everything else is just under the purview of Snow Isle.
Yeah. Yeah, there had been some, Antoinette had asked about it, last meeting, the meeting before, I don't recall. And then I, talked with Shaylin, who has been, she's the one member who's been on this board the longest, and has been president more times than me, for sure. This has been my only time to be the chair. But I talked to her about it, and we thought, well, let's meet with the city and see what they have to say about it. So I've talked to the mayor briefly about it. I will tell you that my one concern was that was accountability. But truthfully, I think that can happen at the local level. And that's why we have a manager, and she can speak to that as well. I think that Antoinette, fairly can say that if we have concerns, if the city council has concerns, if we want to, obviously, if we want to go to her with any kinds of concerns, just as a citizen, we can obviously do that. But if it rises to a level where we say, oh, well, we want to know that our money is being spent well, that may be something where we go to the city council. The city council can absolutely, make those recommendations or make those asks as that goes. So anyway.
So does the Friends of the Library then get more responsibilities?
No, it's Friends of the Library is doing a lot right now, and Friends of the Libraries are strictly an advocate type thing. I suppose that, again, I'll let, go ahead.
Yeah, the Friends of the Library are a 501c3 organization. So their bylaws don't change. They're completely separate from the library board. The library board is run by the city of Lake Stevens.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not.
Can you turn on the,
To talk out and to cause challenges. However, I am concerned. I'm concerned about accountability. I don't think that maybe we want no say. I'm concerned about the selection of books. I'm concerned. I take my 3-year-old to the library and I find a section on other cultures, which is great, except is that really reflective? I mean, we have a very small space, but at least half really is taken up by books that look like they have not been checked out at all. Okay, they just haven't been. I can't find books for my 3-year-old grandson, 4-year-old now, because they're, 3 or 4 will be on Natisha's hair. Things that I don't think reflects our community. I don't. And I have voiced opinions at the library. I go to the library and I walk out without a book that is relevant. And I have 300 books at home for him. So it isn't like I don't love books, I do. It's taken me a year to get to the point where I can really say something. But I feel as though we need to have more of a voice from our community, about what our community wants. And maybe not so much, one case in point was the community read last year. It was not good. It was a failure. That book was awful. The book with the disgusting themes and names of the zombies with the horrible names. Who chose that? Is that an indication of what we're going to receive from now on? Things like that should not have been put out there. If
Yeah.
I would have been a young person and I would have said, oh, the library's reading this, and my mother would have gone, really? That's the best they can do. So, boy, this is unpopular, huh? Uncomfortable. But I'd like books to reflect more of the demographics of our community, which are families that want to go to the library and just get a decent book, maybe a classic. You know, I'll go to my other grandkids who have moved away, and I'll go to their community library, and it will be books that are well worn because they're classic and they're good. They're not talking about, you know, the feminist press that doesn't honestly get checked out much. We have a lot of programs, but how many books are really being checked out? And I'm just talking maybe about toddlers and board books. But when I go and I find all kinds of books that are board books that you're like, what? This is for a 2 or 3-year-old or 4-year-old? My grandson at 4 is reading. That's how much I love books. He's reading at barely 4. But it is not any thanks to what has been offered in the library. And maybe that's a very unpopular opinion, but I'd love to hear more. I just don't feel as though that Snow Owl really wants to represent our community,
So,
Really?
yeah,
you know?
and this is
And
a,
other moms in my mom's group say the same thing.
yeah. Well, here's my question for that. And this is where I think, number one, I would say that go to the city council and present this, because that's going to be, it's their decision. Okay. It's that,
The decision to
yes,
sunset the board.
to sunset the
That's
board.
their decision.
Right, that's their decision, correct. So they can say no, you know, obviously this is something that they can say, no, we like the accountability, we feel like that's there. The question would be, how effective has that been as a board? Have we addressed, because we've talked about some of these things before.
Okay.
It has come up before. But yeah, to what degree, how much input? And we've got the new executive director here, so maybe he can address that even tonight. But yeah, I have to say, I totally respect what you're saying in regards to whether or not we should exist, okay, as a board.
Because it will cost my family about $600 for the library.
I'm sorry,
It will
what?
cost my household about $600 for a year for the library.
Okay, yeah.
What value will I get for my $600?
Yeah, and that's the main question. And
want
really, and I would say that the reason why I'm willing to say, well, okay, it's time, is that to me, I'd rather that the power of the city council and the mayor be able to do that. It was a very uncomfortable time when I first came on as chair of the board, because my very first board meeting was the one where we had the discussion that, and was also Antoinette's first board meeting as a new managing director or managing librarian. And so we were both kind of in that where we were discussing the possibility of, Lake Stevens pulling out of Snow Isle entirely. And uncomfortable as it was, but you know what? I think that it was actually a very good thing that we got through that and the discussions were had. And I think that to some degree, we can celebrate the fact of a new building in part because of all the things that we went through during that time. Having said that, my point is that the city council, the mayor's office probably has more power, especially as we are, as citizens, give that kind of input, so, that's, I think, anyway, it's not our decision, but I just want you to know for sure that this is what it is. So really, Joanne, thank you for that. If there are other opinions of that same sort, please let the city council, the mayor know, okay? Anything else?
I respect what she's saying. I'm not getting books for our grandchild. So my thing is, the reason I joined this was when the city tried to get us out of Snow Isle. I think it was on a Thursday, and by Monday they rescinded that. I wanted to stay in Snow Isle, and that's why I got on the board, to make sure that that would happen and we wouldn't lose that connection and have our own library. So I'm kind of okay with winding down. Let's say we've served the purpose I got on for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I hear what you're saying. Anybody else want to speak to this? Go ahead.
So I guess my question is, you're talking about types of books and does the library board actually have a say in what books are at the library? And I'm,
No.
I-
No,
I
we
would,
do
I
not.
was to say, I don't think they do. I don't think we do.
No, we do not.
So does the city council have that
The-
power?
No, well, Antoinette needs to speak on this, but I'll just say in support of the library, they have a collection development policy. And that is what guides them. We do not, we never have, and we wouldn't in the future sit here and discuss particular books that should be in the library. That's not really our mandate. So whether we like it or not, I mean, I would just say that that's not our mandate here. So we would be, if we had that power, we would be like the only place in all of Snow Isle, because there's no other libraries that have a city appointed board like this. So, that wouldn't be
Yeah.
appropriate.
But yet the burden of paying for it is on each household, but yet we don't have a say about what would be offered.
Well, I'm not going to say if we have a say or not. There is a collection development policy that Snow Isle has, and I think that you would need to speak to them on that. That I'm just saying, as a board, we wouldn't sit here and make those decisions.
How does one do that?
Well, I think we'd have to ask Antoinette and we'd have to, I know that they have go ahead. Sorry, I'm going to stop.
So Eric Howard, Executive Director. I wanted to mention a few things. This is a great discussion. These are the kind of discussions that, just so you know, librarians love to have, because our main goal is to make sure that you have the books that you want. And we have a diverse community here. So that means that we have lots of interests, lots of needs. And so we're working really hard to meet all of those needs. And you're correct. There's a collection development policy. And I actually scratched in a couple of things for how you can have your voice heard, to add additions to this that aren't noted, just a few, but really critical ones. So what's not listed here is the library board trustees. So I have 7 bosses, and they come from, because we're a 2-county system. So we have board members from Island County, and then 2 from Island County and 5 from Snohomish. And they're 7-year terms. And that is the board that votes on the collection development policy.
The name of that board? Sorry.
So those are the trustees for Snow Isle Library.
And 5 are Island and 2 are Snohomish County.
So 2 Island County and 5 Snohomish.
Is that right?
And so they vote, and then this is a reoccurring policy that we bring forward all the time, on a regular basis. So there's a schedule, and you can review that. You can see all of our policies by going to Snow Isle Libraries. And then you can click it on and then see when it's going to be updated, when it has to come back to the board. But that doesn't mean that we're happy to take and have that conversation at any point, because again, our goal is to make sure that you have the books that you want. That is the goal of a public librarian. And it's challenging, as you can imagine, because we have a diverse community. So there's lots of needs, lots of wants, and we only have so much funding. So we have to make some choices there. But there are options beyond that. So when you don't see a book here, we can do a couple things. We can do 3 different things. We can purchase the book for the collection here at Lake Stevens. We can go and find that book within Snow Isle Library, or we can go to the interlibrary system and then get books that way as well. So those are a couple options. So I just wanted to mention a few other things where your voice can be heard. It mentions joining the Library Foundation, but the foundation also has a board as well. And so that's another option to join them. And then I will be back, if you allow me. And just the one thing I wanted to back up on, I didn't know this was on the agenda today. So I started in November. So I'm very happy to be here, of course. But I didn't want you to think there was some lineup between me and then what the council was bringing forward on this. I really was coming here to thank all of you, because you've been working very hard, and it's critically important that we hear your voices. And so some of the other ways that we'll hear your voices, and I hope we do, I'll be coming, if you have me back, I'll be back in one of those two remaining meetings that you have, because we will be kicking off our strategic planning process. And that's really when we decide what is the direction for Snow Wild Libraries. And so we're kicking that off in 2026. The Friends, I would say too, are a great place. You know, they are advocates. They also help to raise money. They put on a phenomenal fundraiser just recently, which I attended, and it was incredibly well received. I think that they had a cutoff, and then they had to go beyond that because people wanted to keep coming to the event. So it was a demonstration of how passionate community members are for the library, which was really heartening to see. And if you'd allow me, I just wanted to mention 3 other things that I've been thinking about since I came here tonight, which make this library, Lake Stevens, very different than any other one that we have in the system. And that is, first, it's going to be the first new library Snow Wild Libraries has created in over 20 years. It's also the first full two-story building that we have in the whole system as well. And then there's something that you might not be aware of in terms of like how this is received in the library community. But when I talk to colleagues, whether it's in Virginia or Illinois or California or New York, they are always surprised to hear that we have library services outside of the regular hours. So when they hear this, and inside Snow Wild, we only have a few libraries that are experimenting with this. And it's a testament to how much the community values the library. And so what I'm talking about here is when I tell people outside of Snow Wild that we do this, that you can come in and use the library after hours, it kind of blows their minds because we're very protective. We want to make sure this is a huge investment, as you're saying, in the community to have a building like this, and to know that the community has so much faith in it and values it so much. We've never had a problem after hours with someone accessing the building. So that is a testament to how much love there is in the community for the library. And so I just wanted to share that piece with you. But
So quick question. You said Library Foundation, and that is, they help to choose books. Is that for all of Snow Wild?
so they don't choose the books. They help provide funds for the many programs that we do. They also help fund the capital improvements.
Is that all of Snohomish County?
Yes, all of Snow Wild Library.
Snow Wild, okay.
Yeah. So yes, they provide funding for programs, for capital improvement projects, and also for books. So a good example of that is, and the Friends help with this as well, but when we do summer reading, the prize books are purchased and supported by the foundation. So.
Michelle is our newest member. This is what, your second or third?
My third.
Your third meeting, yes, and unfortunately, it's okay. So anyway, so all of this is kind of new, and I feel terrible that that if we're doing this, if this is winding down, but I just want you to know that, appreciate all the great questions that you have. All right, so we haven't answered all the questions here, I'm sure, but being aware that this is not something that we are in control of necessarily, but please make your voice known to the city council, the mayor, if you have opinions on that. Go ahead.
Do we know which board meeting this will be taken up in public? Which city council meeting?
I don't. It'd just be about when it was most appropriate.
Okay.
It would simply be creating an ordinance to pull it out of city code. We're looking at cleaning up our city code regarding Veterans Commission as well. So we can definitely it will be public notice, but everyone will know.
No date on it right now.
I don't have a date on
Okay,
it right now.
thank you.
Okay. So that being the case, again, you've got some time, but do make your voice known to city council.
I just have one more comment.
Sure. Yeah.
So here's the challenge that I have. Let me just, this is my last comment, I promise. I go to the library and there's the board books that are up on the children's section. There's 10. Okay. There'll be the Feminist Press. Then there'll be, Lakeisha has a hair challenge, right? Then there'll be one about a rat, and then about a dog, and then about another rat, and then a Chinese book. And this is what we'll have. Okay, I don't see that reflects any kind of value that would be addressing most children. And if we went to the library right now and looked at those books, that's not what we would find. We would not find books that would be classic books that would address most children. And that is where my angst is that when I see, feminist rat, Chinese feminist hair, and this is what happens. And it doesn't matter when you go or how often you go, that's what you'll find. I'm not saying any one thing except for why can't we have books that are loved by, there's many, many children's books. And I find 10 times more in my home that would appeal to the classics. Why do I need to go to the library and not find a single book I can take home? So I don't think I'm making a big deal. I think this is exactly what people are finding.
Okay.
Antoinette, is there a form on the Snow Isle page for comments and questions? I do believe I've seen that before. I just wanted to double check on that.
Yes, there is. If there's ever a specific book that or any material, you can talk to me at the library. I'm happy to have those conversations. And there is a form, and that form will go to our collection development librarians, and they'll respond to you as well. You can also send us a chat or an email or a text message. That's at the bottom of the Snow Isle Libraries page. And that will be forwarded onto the collection development department as well.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Okay.
is that specifically Lake Stevens, or is it all Snow Isle?
The Snow Isle Libraries collection floats among all 23 libraries.
Okay.
So anything that's in the Lake Stevens Library is because it was checked out at the Lake Stevens Library. And so those things kind of shift around. So someone may request a book at Mount Lake Terrace and we would send it through delivery, just as you might request a book from Oak Harbor and that comes in
Right.
through delivery.
I get that process, and there's books, basically every book has a home. And so its home is Lake Stevens and whatever, and you can request amongst all of them. And that's why I love Snow Isle. But I think what she's referring to is that the books that are essentially made home at Lake Stevens doesn't seem to be representing Lake Stevens. So in the ways that you had suggested contacting, is that directed towards Lake Stevens or all of Snow Isle?
So all of Snow Isle, the books don't necessarily have a home. So
Well,
there
it goes
isn't.
back to some place.
If a book is checked out at a local library, it will be returned to that local library if there is room on the shelf. So we have load limits, obviously, for every collection, and for Lake Stevens, it's fairly small right now. But so if an item is checked out from Lake Stevens, it will get returned to Lake Stevens, but there isn't a Lake Stevens collection, if that makes
Okay.
sense. The whole collection, the entire collection as a whole moves around all 23 libraries.
So then how would the community give input to what can be, I guess, displayed at Lake Stevens? I think that's what she's looking for.
You can absolutely talk to me about that. Most often, the books that are displayed on the top of the shelves, they're either new books or they're books that just got returned, because it's easier to put them on the top of the shelf than it is to shelf them. It's faster. It gets them out to the community more frequently. And so typically when someone returns a whole bunch of books, we put them on display, or we put them on display by theme. And so we did add world language books. So we do have Chinese books, and we have books in Russian, picture books as well. The new library will have a larger world languages collection, so we'll be able to see some of that for adults too in our community.
So you're saying that you put out the language books? So,
We put the books on the shelves, yes.
okay, so we're wondering how to influence the decision of which books get put out.
It would just be a conversation with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just find you, email you?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
There we go. Okay, good. All right. Again, there's going to be more discussion on this, I'm sure, but for the time being, that's what we know, and we'll move forward. All right. More new business, because I've already addressed this, about the president. the thing that we have to do in October typically is either re-elect or submit new names for officers. I have reached the end of my allowable time as chair, so I will be stepping down from that. I can take names for nominees if someone would like to nominate someone. I will tell you that I already have an idea of someone that I would like to nominate, but I don't want to prohibit anybody from nominating anyone else if they would like to. So at this time, are there any nominations for chair to begin with? Any nominations on that? Okay. I will go ahead and make a nomination myself. I would like Shaylin to stand for that, especially given the fact that she has been on longer than anyone else at this time, which is she started when she was 12. So, anyway, yeah. So anyway, but also she has been a couple of times as chair. Yeah, at least a couple of times, I would think. So anyway, and I feel that would be very appropriate for her to be kind of lead us out, if you will. But I do need a second on that. Anyone would like to second that nomination? All right, so there we go. Michelle, all right, you've got that,
second.
Nancy? So all those in favor, say aye or raise your hand. Aye. Okay, there we go. It being unanimous, there you are. We have our new president beginning tour.
Thank you. Yeah.
Unfortunately, she doesn't start in January. She will start in April, but all the same next year. All right. We still need a secretary, and I've already asked Nancy if she would stay on. So I would like to also nominate Nancy to stay on as our secretary. I need a second. All right. Well, there you go. Joanne is going to second that. All those in favor say aye or raise your hand. All right. There you go. All right. There we go. And it being unanimous, that as well is taken care of. All right. So new business, I think, is done at this point. And now it's time for reports. Lake Stevens Library. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just begin with the Friends of the Library. There's not an official person here for that, but you kind of spoke to that already. Eric, if I can call you Eric, I don't have to call you Mr. Executive. All right. But I suppose that, is it okay if I just ask you any questions or
I did reach out to friends and did not get a report back. So,
okay.
but I will say also that I was at the auction and it was very well attended. It was, I think, a great night for them, and it was their first ever that they had done. So Emily was there also. So yeah, it was a good night. They represented Lake Stevens and the programming for moving into the new library in a really, they did a good job of it. So
Yeah. And I think there'll be something about Friends of Library Week coming up in the report. So why don't we move to Lake Stevens Library report, which would, now that we do that. All right. Antoinette, please.
We could just start in reverse if you'd like. We can start with the Friends of the Lake
That
Stevens
sounds good to
Library.
me.
So the Friends truly did an amazing job. It was a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of dedication, and it was really a wonderful event and lovely to see the community come out and support the library and the Friends. National Friends of the Library Week happens every year. It just happens to be next week. So October 19th through the 25th. I just want to really recognize, I know many of you are friends and volunteer with the Friends, and really recognize the true dedication it takes to give so much of your time and your effort and your energy for free, right? Like for free. It's truly a labor of love. The Friends of the Lake Stevens Library provide funding for the majority of the programs that we're able to offer. In the last year, the Lake Stevens Library had 413 programs, and we had 5,650 people attend those programs. It really is, we couldn't do it without the Friends, and we just want to take next week to honor them. If you are a friend, we do have a little thank you gift at the library if you'd like to stop by. I'll be sending out an email to the friends letting them know, but I wanted to let you guys know first, just to thank them for everything that they've done for us. It really is incredible. Okay, we'll go back to the top of the report and we'll take it from there. So I just wanted to, it's a fairly long report this time, folks. Sorry, I can just go through quickly, just point out some things. I did want to point out that the Lake Stevens High School has asked us to increase our outreach there. Last year, we were there once a month during their lunchtime tables. It was so popular that they've asked us to be there twice a month. So we're sending Kelly Jade, our teen librarian. She's bringing crafts and books and all kinds of things to engage the teens. I think this has really helped us promote our Dungeons and Dragons program, which just kicked off again as the school year started. I was telling Kevin before the meeting started, it's been so popular that we've had to put a table outside for people to play. So we have like 3 campaigns going on at the same time. Hopefully the weather will hold and we'll be able to continue doing that, but really looking forward to that new space so that we can welcome teens into a dedicated area for them and be able to expand that programming. In the same D&D vein, we've also had a lot of adults express interest in the program. And so what we are doing is offering a series of adult tabletop role-playing game like drop-in classes, kind of teaching you how to do a TTRPG or how to find a group to play. And then what we're hoping is that we'll be able to sign those adults up for self-service hours, and they'll be able to use self-service hours to have the games on a schedule that works for them. And so they'll be able to use both of these really great services at Lake Stevens. And, you know, it doesn't have to be something where staff have to be there. They can come in, they can have the game at 9 o'clock at night if they want to. At the end of the last Storytime session, our Storytime presenters surveyed families to see how the times and days were working for them. So we changed it up a little bit and we actually added an additional story time at 4 p.m. We heard that more families would be able to come, especially families who could come after work. It's a little, you know, with any changes, it's a little slow, but it's really taking off. We're seeing more whole families come to that family story time. And we're really hoping to see an increase as that continues. It's a great opportunity to see folks who just can't make it there in the morning when story times typically are. In addition to that, we've also partnered with Sherwood Community Services. Sherwood is located in Lake Stevens, and they'll be offering a sensory stay and play for 0 to 3, and they do that monthly on Friday mornings.
Right.
I also wanted to point out, you know, some of the, just as reassurance, some of the ways that we're partnering with the city. So in May, we were at Gaming by the Lake. We'll also be at Harvest Festival at the end of October, and we're participating in Winterfest. So we do participate in the city events as often as we're able to, and plan to continue that partnership. I talk to Tanya in the Parks Department all the time. So we really do have a close relationship with the city. I do attend a monthly meeting with the mayor and other organization leaders every month, and I give them basically this report. And so there is a lot of connection between the library and the city, just as reassurance moving forward. I'm not going to go through all of our programming. You have the list there. Just we have, you know, our weekly, our monthly, and our one-time programs. We are starting the first, I do want to highlight one program on October 23rd. We have a NASA ambassador coming, and she has a series of programs. So this is school-aged, teen, and adult. It's a pretty flexible program. We're going to give it a try and see how it goes, but really hoping to bring those back because there's a really long series. And so this one is exploring the solar system, but then there's an interactive presentation and activity and things like that. We think it's going to be pretty cool.
And what is a NASA ambassador?
It's someone who's trained by NASA to present these programs at local organizations like libraries for free.
Yeah.
And they come in and so NASA provides the content and they provide the activities and things like that. And this person who's been trained in exploring the solar system can come in and talk about that.
Oh, okay.
I had the same question. I had to Google it. That's
Yeah, okay.
On November 15th, we're also going to have Tulalip storyteller Lois Landgrebe return to the library. She'll be doing a story time called Thankfulness, a Basket Full. And that will be in English and Lushootseed. And then the ever popular gingerbread house making will be returning December 12th.
All right.
I've got some updates just on the construction project. There has been some conversation in the community about frustration at not seeing the progress that they're expecting to see. I totally understand. I completely understand. A lot of the progress over the last 2-3 months has been happening below the fence line. It's been moving things around. We've been doing some wetland restoration work and doing a lot of dirt moving, and the concrete slab was poured. In addition to that, a significant amount of the construction is taking place offsite. As I think you are all aware, there are some limitations there with the wetland buffer and the size of the lot. And so the cross-laminated timber and the structural steel, every time I can't say structural steel, is being constructed offsite. So these prefabricated pieces are going to arrive, which means that things will go up very quickly. So I just want to reassure everyone the project is on track. It is on schedule. There are no holdups. The city has been an amazing partner in helping us get this project going, get this project on schedule. And so we really are, at this moment, you know, I can't tell you the future, but at this moment, we're on track to have a grand opening next summer.
All right.
Going to pause for a second. Any questions?
Do you have any? No? Oh, okay.
Megan,
But
yeah.
so, yeah, so spring and, but grand opening in the summer before our July meeting, possibly?
I don't have date. I have like ranges of dates.
Yeah.
So in the spring, the building itself will be completed, right? The construction will be completed, but then we have to move in. And if any of you have moved a house, I think you know how long it takes to move in and unpack. So that's when the library moves in. And so we have to put in our IT, all of the computers and the networking and the printers and all of those have to go in. The staff spaces have to go in, the books have to go in. And all of that has to be done. So it's really just that's the timeline between when the project is finished and when we can have a grand opening. Some of it is also going to be guesswork because we're going to have to plan the grand opening before we really know when the building's going to be finished too. So some of that'll be a little bit of guesswork too. So don't have a specific date, but that's the range.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Any other questions?
I've got one more thing.
Oh, please.
So if you visit the library before the end of October, and I know all of you have library cards, but if you bring someone who does not have a library card, both you and the new registrant get this amazing Snow Isle tote bag to take home. So please stop by the library. We have these until October 31st. They are designed by our amazing marketing team. They're very, very cute. We've had lots of people ask if they can buy them. But please, spread the word. Anyone who signs up for a library in the month of October, a library card for the month in the month of October.
Thank you.
I have to find somebody that doesn't have one.
All my
I know
people
it's
have
hard.
cards.
It's really hard.
I don't know anybody.
Lynn, do you have a card?
We're doing a good job. That means we're doing.
I know.
I have one more thing. I'm sorry. It's not in the report because I wasn't sure we're going to have any on the shelf. But when I was here last time, I promised I would bring one of our memory care kits so that you could see what those look like if you haven't been able to stop by the library. So just as a reminder, these are available at the Lake Stevens Library. This was a partnership with the Alzheimer's Association. Kelly Jate worked on these and we have 9 kits. They're all on different topics on 3 ranges. So early, mid, and late stage memory loss. There are resources for caregivers in here, as well as activities and coloring pages and things, tips to help your loved one who is suffering from memory loss. They've been really, really popular. We've had folks come from Edmonds and Linwood who have heard about this and have checked it out. So it's really amazing to be able to offer this in Lake Stevens. And we're really grateful for all the support that we received from the collection department who helped us barcode it and put it in the catalog and make sure that it would be available so that customers could check it out during self-service. That was a really important part of getting this on the shelf as well.
Oh,
So if you want to take a look at it after, you can dig through it. I've got it here.
great. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Any other questions, comments? We're good? All right. Caitlin, I'm going to ask you if you could give us a rundown of any news from the city of Lake Stevens.
The city does not have an update this evening.
Oh.
So
All right. Well, there you go. Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please, please.
Thanks. I really just wanted to add to what I was saying earlier and to thank you all very much. And one other place to add, Antoinette was really good at pointing out that she's a great resource. She's a fantastic resource. She really helps bring the library to life, she and her staff. So for connecting up and giving suggestions, share them with her, but you can also reach out to me directly. So I'm happy to sit down and grab coffee. I'm happy. I love coming out to Lake Stevens, so it's not very far from where I am. So please take me up on that, and I hope you'll have me back in the spring. That's when we'll be kicking off our strategic planning process, and so it'll be really important to get your voices heard then too. So thank you for all that you've done for Snow Owl Library and for Lake Stevens. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll take you up on that coffee sometime. All right. It's a neat place and if it's still open in for coffee in Marysville, so easy access for you. So anyway, yeah. Okay. So we don't have a report from the city. I suppose with that, we can go around the table here for any final board comments. Anything that you would like to share tonight? No, nothing. Okay. We'll start with you, Nancy. Do you have any comments as we close? Anything? No? Okay. All right. Joanne?
I think I've said more than enough.
Oh, well, okay. That's fine.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for taking up the chair. It does seem fitting that you've been here for so long and you did a lot of the heavy lifting, and to be able to have the honor to take it out, I think that is fitting. So thank you very much.
Yeah, there we go.
That's it.
All right. Anything you want to say?
No, I would like to say thank you. I do appreciate the opportunity to kind of come full circle on everything that is Lake Stevens Library. I'm really proud of the work that the board did in advocating for so long for the new library. So I think that was really our mandate for a long time, was to get it built. And so I'm really excited about that. So that's exciting. And I will just share one thing, just because I wasn't thinking about this earlier, but you know, your question about getting particular books into the library. My son has a deep-seated interest in Catholicism and had been to a camp and had gotten a lot of different titles that he was interested in. So we went on Snow Isle and looked them all up. And Snow Isle had one out of, I don't know, 7 or something like that. So we filled out the form to request them. And within, I think, 3 weeks and 4 weeks, we had gotten the email back saying that, you know, I think 3 or 4, maybe even 5 of them had been purchased for Snow Isle. And I thought that was fantastic. You know, they didn't have them before. We had a request and we had a need, and they fulfilled that. So, you know, they were very responsive. So just as a, you know, they don't know who I am when I fill out that form. It doesn't say board member by it or anything like that. It just says patron. And they were responsive. So kudos to Snow Isle for the job that they do. Sometimes they just have to be asked, you know.
Yeah, I'll add on to that. Before I was a board member, I used the Overdrive quite a bit. And I know I've requested quite a lot of books, and it's almost instantaneous that any book I request gets added to the library. So if there's a book you want, that's what they do. They get you your books. So thank you.
That's good to hear.
Oh, I was gonna say, my comment is I've actually never paid attention to what books are on the shelf because the Lake Stevens Library has always been small. I always reserved online, and I use the interlibrary loan system where they don't buy the book because they're not always guaranteed to them purchase a book, but you're interlibrary loan it, you're guaranteed to get it. And so the furthest I've gotten it from is Florida, but now he's telling me I can get it from other countries. So now game on, I'm gonna just where I can get this from.
Some foreign language ones, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Well, and I too use almost exclusively, say overdrive. I suppose that's still the word that I can say, but whatever. In any case, I tend to go with electronic books most of the time. And I know those are expensive, especially the audio books, and they can be difficult to get. And yet, most every time that I've had a request, I may have to wait a while, but it eventually comes. So anyway, I want to say thank you. I am also very happy to be passing along the torch, so to speak, to Shaylin. The one thing that I will say is that as we adjourn and we talk about, our next meeting, we're talking about it being in April, but we don't know that absolutely until the city council votes on this. So, but I would suspect that our next meeting will be, our April meeting. So anyway, I will let Shaylin worry about that though, since she will be taking that over and getting word out and making sure that we do have quorum. Okay. Sure. I'm sorry, what's that? Oh, I'm sorry, Emily, no? Okay, all right. Thank you so much for reminding me though there. Thank you, Nancy. With that, I think we pretty much have said what we need to say. Thank you so much for making it tonight. It was important that we get this out for those board members who are not here. I guess it would just be Andy, is that right? Who did give me an excuse, by the way. Nancy, you can report that. He let me know ahead of time, so it's an excused absence. Just giving them this information. This, as I mentioned to you, will be included in the minutes. So Emily, you'll get a chance to read all of this. Okay. As
Abe,
will Andy.
I'll go ahead and add it to the packet as well. And Emily, I did email it to her before the conversation started, so everyone should have it. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. There you go. All right. All right. With that, it's always kind of fun to just say that we can adjourn, but we'll take a vote on it just for the fun of it. So would anybody like to make move that we adjourn? Who wants to be
That we adjourn?
There you go. Second? Oh, Michelle. All right. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay.